Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another in the series of Vegans Across the World. Today, we have Ella in Belgrade, Serbia. Hi, Ella. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. So, what I'm going to do
You're
now is
welcome.
I'm going to share my camera with everybody, or my camera, my my screen is what I meant to say. I'm going to share my screen with everybody, and I'm going to show everybody where you are in the world, and we're going to give a little bit of information about the area. When I go off of here, it will um, it will leave our screen for me. So let me know if you see that. Do you see that?
I do.
Okay. So there you are. We're going to zoom in. Belgrade, Serbia.
Yes.
Now, if I'm going to give some facts about the area. If I ever say anything that's wrong or I pronounce anything wrong, do not hesitate to interrupt me and let me know because we all want to know the correct information.
Sure.
So Belgrade, Serbia, officially it's the Republic of Serbia. It's a country in Central and Southeast Europe, and it's bordered by 8 countries. I was looking that up. It's kind of interesting because seeing um, different countries, how many countries they're bordered by. I think China was 14. You guys are right up there. So I think only the only one above you is Germany with 9. You have 8. So it's one of the world's biggest exporters of raspberries. In 2012, Serbia was responsible for almost 95% of the world's raspberries. So thank you for that. There is a river called Year because it's 365 meters long. Serbia is where the clock was invented 200 years before anywhere else. The All right, here's where you might have to correct me. The Vinatovaca rainforest, is that how you say it?
How?
Yes?
Can you repeat?
The Vinatovaca rainforest?
No, no. I'm not sure actually
Okay.
what
Well,
do you
anyway,
mean.
it's spelled Vinatovaca. So I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right in your language, but the rainforest is more than 350 years old, and it is forbidden to touch or cut down any part of it. It would be really interesting to know, like, if you can even walk in there. If you're not allowed to touch anything, it's like, what if you touch a mushroom, you know? But anyway, Lonely Planet once voted Belgrade as the best nightlife on the planet. Serbia has produced some of the most famous inventors, scientists, and chemists in history. And 3 Serbian nationals actually took part in the first moon landing. Serbia is actually smaller than the state of South Carolina in the US. That's for people in the states. And it regularly experiences earthquakes. Have you ever experienced an earthquake?
Yes, once when I was little.
Wow.
That was really earthquake, but after that there were some lighter earthquakes, but nothing dangerous.
Wow. So like tremors. So 70 different species of mammals, including you have 70 different species of mammals, including bears. Have you ever seen any bears?
No.
No?
No, no. But I never had the opportunity to see the bear like in real life. But I know that there are bears in mountain Tara.
Okay. So do you have a lot of people that go as tourists that go up and see those and they go up to look at the bear?
Yes, there are people who
Yeah,
go.
sure. So the most expensive cheese in the world is made from donkey milk and it's called Pule. It's in Serbia and it's about 600 to $1,000 per pound. Is that right?
I never heard that,
You've never
to
heard
be
of that?
honest.
I actually looked it
No.
up. It exists and it's crazy. Um, And the word vampire comes from the Serbian word vampire, which I thought was a nice little
Yeah.
snippet. The population of Serbia is 6.9 million as the 2020 census. So, what I'll do is I'll stop sharing our screen and I'll get back to us. So, Ella, again, welcome and thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it. How are
Thank
you?
you for inviting me.
So, let's go ahead and let's get to know you a little bit better, okay? So, why don't you
Okay.
tell us a little bit about yourself? For example, what do you do, and maybe what kind of activism are you involved in?
Sure. Well, I'm 26 years old. When it comes to activism, in 2017, when I became vegan, I was watching YouTube videos about street activism, and I really liked it. I thought that it was really effective. So I decided to search for a group in Belgrade, but there was none. Unfortunately, there was no group in Serbia. So I contacted AV directly, and that's how I started the chapter in Belgrade. Um, and after that, I also became Animal Save Movement organizer and the DXC organizer in Belgrade.
Do you still do all those?
No, because when it comes to Animal Save Movement, the slaughterhouse that we went to bear witness closed. And when it comes to AV, I used to be organizer since 1 month ago, but I decided to let other people have the opportunity to organize.
Okay. So, but the AV chapter is still going.
Yes, it is still going.
Yeah, when I first became an organizer, I am actually an organizer to my city as well for AV. And when I first became an organizer, I also started a chapter of Animal Safe and here in my city because just literally right down the street from me was one of the worst cow slaughterhouses that we had. And then I started the chapter and found out that the slaughterhouse thankfully had shut down. But I handed it over to somebody else because there's really not many slaughterhouses around us, and
Mm.
there's not been any vigils. We don't really have anything, but I mean, that's something you should be grateful for, right? So anything else outside of our city or our vicinity really is taken over by
Mm.
other, say, city movements. So that's
Uh,
great. Do you do anything with DXE?
Sorry?
Do you still do anything with DXE?
Yes, I still organize DXC, and when it comes to Animal Save Movement, that's the same as
Yeah,
in your city. There are no slaughterhouses here in Belgrade, but I go to Novi Sad. It's near Belgrade. It's 1 hour away by car, so I try to go as many times as I can. Um there is a slaughterhouse there in Novi Sad, and I think that it is the biggest slaughterhouse in Serbia. They kill a lot of pigs, so we usually see like 8 or 9 trucks
yeah,
during the vigil.
yeah. I think the closest slaughterhouse to us like that is in Louisville, Kentucky. It's less than a 2 hour drive. I've been to the vigils, and yeah, they I think they slaughter 10,000 pigs per day, and yeah, it's pretty bad. It's one of the biggest slaughterhouses in the nation, I think.
Mm.
So that's sad. But you have a lot of activists in Novi Sad, right?
Yes, there are a lot of activists.
That's great. That's great. So let me ask you, where are you originally from? Are you originally from Belgrade?
No, I am originally from Kruševac. It is a town in the eastern Serbia,
Okay.
and it's smaller than Belgrade, and there is no, unfortunately, vegan community there. I tried to organize twice Cube of Truth there in the summer when I was on a vacation, but unfortunately, there are vegans, but there is no vegan community. So
Sure, sure. That's what happens in a lot of places.
yeah,
Um, but can you tell us a little bit about the culture of the food, like where you are? What's it like where you are? Um, is there really any difference from the small town to Belgrade, or just in general, what's it like? Because
in general.
obviously we know culture has a lot to do with
Mm.
food, so that's why I said the culture and the food. And how much does it have to do with the culture there?
Where well, Serbia is, I can say, pretty much meaty country. Uh, we have a lot of traditional food that is with meat, but I think that in Belgrade it's easier because there are more vegan options. We don't have any vegan restaurant actually, but there are options in almost every restaurant here. We have one vegan cafe and fast foods.
Okay, so you do have a place. So, but you have what would you say you have alternatives and stuff like that available in the grocery stores, whereas like further out they don't have those.
Uh, well, there are more options in Belgrade. There
Sure.
are options in my hometown, and people can be vegan there also, but it's less than in Belgrade. They
Okay.
don't have that much alternatives.
So I think you told us how long you've been vegan. Did you say 2016,
No, it's 2017.
2017? Okay. So what made you want to go vegan? What flipped that switch for you? You said that you saw footage, or is that after you became vegan?
No, no, that was after.
Okay.
After I became vegan, I started watching not footages, but videos about street activism, and that's how I got involved in activism. But when it comes to becoming vegan, um, I think that it actually became much earlier because I used to rescue cats and dogs from the street with my mom and sister, and I would consider myself an animal lover, but I wasn't vegan. And in 2017, we rescued one puppy that I fell in love instantly, and I really had a connection with her. Uh, and just a couple days after that, I saw on the internet a picture of a roasted dog that was in China, probably. Um, and I thought that it was horrible, and I decided to see the comments, and there were vegans that were telling that it's similar, and I realized that they were right and we were wrong. So that's how I became vegetarian, and then I became aware of dairy and that egg industry, and I became vegan.
Oh, wow. So yeah, so even with the specialized campaign with the dogs being killed in China, you looked into the comments section and there were vegans commenting. And
Yes.
that's great to know because a lot of vegans can be discouraged,
Mm.
they get into these arguments in comment sections and it can be really really a lot to deal with sometimes. And because you get a lot of people that like try to you know
Mm.
blow it off or make fun of it, your comments,
I wanted
but it
actually
obviously
to.
makes an impact, right?
Yes, it was really an impact, but at first I wanted to also comment and to say that she was crazy, the person that shared that. But after reading all the comments, I realized that they were actually right.
Yeah, so that just goes to show that don't give up, right? Don't give
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
Go ahead, make those comments. They may be making an impact on somebody you have no idea.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful.
You never
So
know who is reading those comments.
I agree. I agree. Um, are any of your family or friends vegan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, my mom, my sister, and my brother. Uh,
Awesome.
yeah.
So many people watching this right now are going to be so jealous of you.
Well, actually, it wasn't that easy. Uh, Vegans are jealous, I can say, when they hear that because they probably have problems with their family. But I also have a problem. I had problems in the beginning. My mom was against it. She thought that I was in cult. She was worried for me. So only my sister was vegetarian actually before. So, but she was pretty much against veganism. She thought it was little bit extreme. Like she was vegetarian for the animals, but still thought veganism is extreme.
Yeah.
And when it comes to my mom, um she was against it, but then I showed her some footage and she became vegan.
Oh, wow. See, I wish a lot of us are going to say we wish it was that easy for our families. I have shown my families, my family, my friends, shown them footage, and it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating, especially when it's people you care about so much. You know,
Yeah, I know.
so that's great. You have that around you. So, what about your friends? Have you built a new community of friends, or do you still have old friends from before you were vegan? If so, you know, are they, what do they think about it?
Um, well, I don't have any more friends that are not vegan. I only have colleagues from my work, but I work from home, so it's not a problem for me.
Yeah.
But it was before when I used to work from company. It was problem for me because everyone would talk about eating meat and other animal products, so it was a little bit frustrating. That's why I I don't have non-vegan friends anymore because it's really frustrating for me. So I got involved in vegan community and I have vegan friends now.
Well, that's great. So, you created, we all create our own families as we go along, don't we?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, I was going to ask you, what do they think of your veganism? But they're vegan, and they thought you were in a cult
Yeah.
in the beginning. So you don't really have any conflict there. I mean, again, people are going to be jealous because we still deal with
Mhm. Well,
family and friends that aren't vegan.
mhm, as I already said, it wasn't like that from the beginning. I
Yeah.
also had a problem with my mom. We would argue all the time, and after a couple of months, she became vegan. It was same for my sister and for my brother. It took him about 2 years to
Okay.
become vegan, so
So
it
what about
wasn't
your
like instantly.
activism now? I mean, what do they think of your activism? Are they active as well?
Well, my mom and sister, I'm pretty sure that they would be active, but they live in my hometown, so they don't
There's
have
not
a
any activism there.
no, no, unfortunately, there is no vegan community. But my sister actually comes sometimes when she can here, and she gets involved with me in activism. And she was actually organizer for Animal Save with me.
Okay. That's great.
And
That's
my
wonderful.
brother, he's unfortunately not interested in activism.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it. Not ready
No,
for it. That's, that
he's
happens.
vegan. Yeah, he thinks that it's enough that he's vegan. So
Well, we're just happy that he's not harming animals,
yeah,
right? We'll work on the rest later. So, would you say it's easy or hard to be vegan where you live?
In Belgrade, I'd say that it's really easy.
What
For me,
about in general in Serbia itself?
well, people are not still aware here about veganism and everything, but I think if someone knows that they are doing a good thing and that they are vegan for the animals, and that they know that being killed is harder than being vegan, I think that it's not difficult. It
Yeah.
wasn't for me, at least.
So basically, what you're saying is what a lot of people say, and that is if you think about the victims, it's easy.
Yeah, exactly.
If you think about yourself, that can make it difficult.
Mm.
But the options are available for you.
Yes, every beginning is, I can say, difficult, um, because people don't know what to eat, where to buy. But we have groups on Facebook, where people post about products that can be bought here in Serbia, in every city. So I think if they research a little bit, that they can find products and vegan
What
places.
What about products like, let's say, for example, leather alternatives, and even like shampoos, toiletries, stuff like that, shampoos and toothpaste and stuff like that. Are those fairly easy to get around there?
Yes, it is easy. We have here DM. It's like I think that they're from Germany. It's store from Germany, um, and they have their products that are cruelty free.
Okay,
They sell products that are not, but all their products are cruelty free that they produce.
great, great. So, and any and all links to any places, or products or organizations or anything that you want to give me, everybody check below for links, and her social media, as well as any organization, anything you want to give me will be below the video. So everybody check below this video for all those links. So we talked about veganism, which most people think of as a diet, you know, but it is a decision that we make 3 times a day. So, it's understandable sometimes. But what would you say people think about, how do they view animal rights where you live?
Well, here in Serbia, people are not that much aware of animal rights, but I think that we are slowly going there because, for example, in 2019, they banned fur farms here in Serbia.
Wow, that's great.
Yes. So I think that we are getting there. It's still not something that is common, but especially younger generations, they are getting more and more aware about it.
Do you have a lot of colleges there?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of outreach around the colleges?
Well, we do only with we. I mean, I personally, but
I'm sorry, say that again. You only do what?
only with Anonymous for the Voiceless.
Okay. Yeah, because I live right next to a college, so we haven't done as many outreach queues as I'd like to, just because it's hard with their scheduling is different than my work. But the times that we've gone there, we've had some really good conversations. Sometimes you get some
Mm.
very good
Uh,
conversations with younger people. So,
yes, exactly. And we also once had a speech in one school, but it was like school in one smaller town in Serbia. It wasn't in Belgrade. Me and my three friends. We had a
You did
speech.
that with AV, or you just did that on your
No,
own?
no, it was just on our own.
Okay. How did that go?
Well, I think that it went really well, but we also showed footage, and it wasn't that well when we showed it. But
It is what it is,
yeah,
right? I mean, it's the truth. But I mean, you didn't get kicked out because of the footage or anything.
no, no.
Yeah, it's just that people were upset, as they should be, right?
A lot of people left, but some stayed also. So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah, we
effective.
had a showing of Dominion, and here locally, I think that the people stayed. There was a lot of people crying during the showing, but there was also the poster behind me, actually, of Dominion. It was from a showing in Louisville where I told you the pig save is, and that was at a bigger theater, and they had of course, a bigger crowd. It was a theater, like an actual big theater, and some people did walk out. I was, because I didn't need to see it. I was just helping with the event, so I was at the outside the door at the back, and yeah, there was. It was funny. Most of them were men. But there was quite a few people that would walk out. Some of them came back in. But it is what it is,
Mm.
and if they're paying for this, they need to see they need to see what they're paying for, you know.
Yes, I agree. We also had a screening of Dominion in a theater here in Belgrade,
How
but
did that go?
it was actually smaller theater, so not a lot of people, but it still went well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how we did in Cincinnati here. I didn't have we didn't have the money to do a big theater, and I didn't know at the time to go through like a veg fund and stuff like that, which my friend did in Louisville. So we really did it off of our own funding and donations. And so it was probably 20 people, but the people did stay and they did donate and they did cry. So it, I think, was successful. So,
That's great.
so let me ask you, with the different forms of activism that you've done, what would you say is your favorite form of activism?
Uh, well, I think that's all are effective. That's true, but if I have to choose one, I would choose animal save movement.
Okay. And can you tell me what do you think is most effective about that? Why do you enjoy that the most? Everybody's going to have a different opinion.
Yeah, well, I think that when it comes to animal save movement and vigils, um, it's we go there because of those animals to show them love and kindness, and to show that they are loved and they are seen. And at the same time, we get stronger as a community. We connect with each other, activists, and when we see those animals like eye to eye in real life, we get motivated to fight for them more. I think it's not same when you see footages on the screen and in real life, real animals that are going to be slaughtered.
Yeah.
So I think that's why Animal Save Moment is my favorite.
Yeah, my first animal save movement was in at Pyramids in Toronto, outside Toronto, where unfortunately Regan was killed. Um, and that's where it all started at. And we had gone up for a United AV thing in Toronto. It was a march, and then we did a huge cube in the park, and then a bunch of us on our way out went to the vigil, and it was very, yeah, it was hard. It was very hard. Um, the truck drivers were there. There was one in particular who was very callous. uh, he was flipping us off, and he had a kid in the truck with him, and it just, yeah, I could see how what happened to Regan did, because some of them just were very mad actually at
Mm.
the activists, and but we did our thing, and it was hard. The stench, you reach in to try to give some care, or reach out to them, and I got peed all over. I didn't care about that, but it's just like, yeah, you're in the trenches basically with them, and you know what their fate is when they go through those gates. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. And yeah, then going to Louisville and doing the, where they slaughter 10,000 there, 10,000 per day there. You get some people mad at you. You get some people really mad at you. They don't understand what's going on, or you get the people working there that come out and they get mad at you. And it's like, listen, dude, this has nothing to do with you, you know? So more power to you. It
Mm,
is,
yeah,
it's a totally different experience, but like you said, all are important, right?
yes, all are important, and we had also similar experience with vigils. Once worker punched one of our activists.
Did you get that on film?
No, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's another thing about the vigils. It's very important, and I think we've learned this over time, is that it's very important for everybody to be ready with their
Yeah.
cameras. Not just because a big thing about the vigils is it's very much like, it's not just like you're there, but to expose it to social media. That's the
Yeah,
biggest platform for the Save movement, is to expose this as it's happening live, show what's going on, so that people can connect with that. But also the fact that you guys are um, at a Save vigil, you are put in danger, obviously.
mm,
um, So yeah, yeah, it's a hard thing, but you know what? Everybody should find what they're comfortable with, because
exactly.
certain types of activism just don't mesh with certain personalities or emotional states. And find what you're comfortable with, and definitely seize that. Go in, do that. Go in every time. So
Exactly. There are a lot of forms of activism, so everyone can get involved in some.
as long as we're out there talking for the animals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're saying, something I didn't ask you. You said that it's easy to be vegan where you are, but I wanted to ask you, what are your struggles?
Well, I'd say it is easy because it's easy for me, but as I said in the beginning, it's not that easy. But there are vegan options. There is actually religious fasting here in Serbia, and people fast for about 6 months in a year. So it's almost half of
Is
a
that a
year.
regular thing?
Yes, but they're fasting and they're eating only fish and honey.
Oh, so
But
they are eating.
yes, they're eating. They're not eating animal products except for the fish and honey. But during that time, you can find even more options that are with no animal products. So I think that.
Can I ask you what the significance is of fish and honey during that time?
Uh, well, I am not sure. There, it's religious fasting, and it's Orthodox religion.
Is that like Catholicism, or what religion is that does that?
It's Orthodox.
Orthodox. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I did live in Chicago, I used to work on a sandwich truck at the very beginning when I first was going vegan. That was back in 2005. It wasn't completely vegan yet. I didn't go vegan until 2006, but I was working on a sandwich truck, and I had to drive all over the city and sell, meat sandwiches. And their vegetarian was cheese and stuff like that. And I remember so many people like coming with the ash crosses. It was a very big Catholic city, Chicago, and during Lent, coming with the ash crosses on their heads and ordering the cheese sandwiches, the fish. And this is right before I became vegan, so it was really getting to me. I was like starting to see how weird it was. I was like, why is it that if you want to give up something and to be a good person, you only do it this time of year? Why don't you just be a good person all the time if that's so important to your religion? And I'm not trying to go off on religions. I just think it's very confusing to me, you
Yeah,
know.
that's what I ask also, because like if you eat animals at other days, it's the same. You are
Yeah.
still paying someone to kill them. It doesn't matter if it's fasting or not.
Yeah, it was just, yeah, I was like, why not just be a good person all the time? And I also found it strange that they didn't consider fish flesh, and I'm like, this is still an animal, you know? I at least knew that. I knew, I was like, fish is still flesh, but they don't,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't consider fish flesh. Very strange. So, yeah, I guess it would be a little bit harder, and depending on how deeply religious the community is, because it's
Well,
so embedded.
there are some days I'm not sure because I'm not that much religious, but there are some days that they don't even eat fish or oil or anything. But there are days that they eat. But anyway, during those days, more vegan products can be found in the supermarkets.
Isn't that weird? It's like just make them available all the time. Yeah. So let me ask you, if a vegan visits where you live, where do you think they should go? That doesn't have to be a restaurant. It can be, but just wherever you think they should go, they'd be interested in.
Well, I think that they should go to the vegan cafe that we have.
And what's the name of that?
It's called Veza.
Veza?
Yes,
Okay.
it's it's actually cafe that is held by our activists. So they are activists and vegan and
They own the cafe?
yeah,
That's awesome. That's wonderful.
and
S-
they also have a group Vegezajednica.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Vegezajednica, like
Okay.
veggie community.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the language is a little hard for me. There's a lot of different alphabet and pronunciations, but anything, any links that you give us, I'll include it below so we can check that out. But that's wonderful. At the vegan cafe, do that's owned by the activists?
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of community there?
Yes, of course. They also have some events. Like once we went to stores and put, like pictures on animal products. Like
Yeah,
photos of.
stickering. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we would call it, stickering. That's great. So you have a. It sounds like what is a close knit society there, vegan community that is, and yeah, that has to be strong, especially for activism. Unfortunately, a lot of places it's not. You'll go into the vegan groups, and everybody's just interested in where they can eat, and and the vegan activists themselves don't have a strong community to support them through the mental aspects of what they do, and people don't see the need for that because they're kind of just like in their own world. Like, I just want to know what to eat. You got to understand, there's people out there fighting for what you're eating and these animals, most importantly. And so that's great that you have. It sounds like a strong backbone to your community.
Well, we do have activists and community, but we also struggle with activists.
Sure.
We used to have more activists than we do now.
I think we all we all had that. I don't know if it just fell in line with the pandemic or what, but how are you guys dealing with the pandemic, by the way?
Well, we are normally organizing AV and DXC and Animal Save movement in Novi Sad. So now it's pretty much normal.
Good. That's great. That's great. It's good
we
to hear.
we didn't organize just for 2 months when we were in lockdown, but after that it was normal.
That's wonderful. That's a lot better than a lot of places have been doing. So, so what is your favorite local vegan dish that they should try if they come there?
Well, I don't have one favorite. I have couple of favorites, but for example, I like the burger from Vegebar. It's
Okay.
like a vegan fast food. They also have a burek. It's a traditional Serbian dish,
What is
which
it made
is
of?
it is made normally. It's not vegan, but they make it with soy or with tofu, so it's vegan. Uh, and yeah, that's vegan fast food. So everything that they have is vegan. Um, and I also like to eat falafel.
Oh yeah.
They don't have like vegan fast food, but there is still vegan option.
Yeah. Falafel's always a good fallback. Yeah, most people have falafel in their town, so
Yeah.
I know the one up the street from me is actually Middle Eastern people own it, and they do it just right. So it's really, really good. So
Yeah, but the one that I usually go and buy falafel, they make it separately than they make animals, so there is not cross contamination.
good. That's great. So if they come to Serbia, not just Belgrade, but even Novi Sad or just in general, how can they get involved in the local vegan community?
Well, they can contact us through Facebook.
Okay.
We have, as I said, we have some groups, like Serbian groups, like Vege Zajednica or also Sloboda za životinje. We also have AV chapter and DXT chapter, so they can contact us and join us.
That's awesome. And again, all links below. Obviously, some of the things you said I couldn't pronounce, and it's going to be a different alphabet. So when people do go on to social media, it's hard to look these things up sometimes because it's not spelled in the same alphabet. So you can't just put vegan Serbia sometimes and it'll come up. It might be in a totally different alphabet, and people don't know what to type. So links below. We'll check those out. Okay. So finally, I want to ask you, where would you like to visit one day and maybe learn about veganism there? Have you traveled a lot?
I did before this pandemic. Now we can't travel that much.
Yeah.
I went to Prague to Animal March.
Yep.
that was really great. It was my first time abroad to be involved in activism. Um, and I was really happy to see that much people marching for the animals. I think that it's not possible to get that many people in Serbia, for example. And after that, I also went to Vienna once. It was during the Vienna calling. We had a 6 hour cube. Then we had the vigil and DXC. It was all in like 4 days. And
So, no, go ahead.
that was great because we met a lot of people that were like us. And that's why I also like those international organizations, because you can meet people from all over the world
Exactly.
and connect with the other vegans.
Yeah.
And wherever you go, you can find a community.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm going to Mexico at the end of the month, and I'm already talking to somebody about trying to join a cube if I can while I'm there. And yeah, you make friends, you meet great people. And I'm hoping that this series that I'm doing here also helps connect people all over the world, all vegans all over the world, and hopefully let people know that it's not as hard as they think if they're not vegan to do it wherever they are. So that's great. So yeah, again, any links below. But oh, you didn't tell us so. You have traveled, but where have you not traveled that you would like to go and maybe learn about veganism there?
I would like to go to France. I was there, but I didn't get involved in activism because it was just I was there just like tourist, so I didn't have time enough to get involved. And I would really like to get involved there because I heard that uh, it's, I think, the best country in Europe for when it comes to activism, and they are really active, and they
They
have
are.
different kind of activism. So I would like to learn from them. I made some friends from France, and I would like to also join them one day, hopefully.
Yeah, that's great. That's how I felt about Mexico. I was like, wow, when I became an activist, I started making so many friends down there. I just found out how active they are. I mean, there's some hardworking activists there. So nobody, I don't think anybody said France yet. So that's great. That's wonderful that you said
Well,
France.
I heard that they have a lot of activism,
No, they
and as I
do.
already said, I do have some vegan friends from there, so I think that I could learn a lot from them.
Yeah, they definitely do. From what I've seen, France, Germany, Italy, they all have tons of activism there. The main reason I haven't interviewed from anyone from there yet is because it's one of the easier ones. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
of that, and I want to like find places that are a little more out of the way, the more beaten path or the more popular places, and I want to show that people are still doing it. So we definitely appreciate you giving
Yes,
us your
we are.
perspective.
Yeah, we are still doing it here in Serbia. As I already said, it's just Belgrade and Novi Sad, but I hope that one day there will be more chapters.
Yeah. So I do have a surprise question for the end. Do you like pizza?
I do like.
Okay. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Uh, I actually never tried it with pineapple, but uh, I don't think that I'm interested in that.
Oh, you've got to try it. You have to try it before you can make a decision. All right. So, what I'm hoping is that we will keep in touch. And the next time I talk to you, you tell me that you at least tried pineapple on pizza. And then you can tell me what your verdict is. You were the first person to say that they are neutral. But you're the second person to say they haven't tried it, but you're the first person to say they're neutral.
Well, I do like pineapple, but I don't know if that's good combination with pizza. So
I'm personally team pineapple, so I like pineapple. Anyway, you know what, Ella? Thank you so much. I really appreciate you
thank you.
being here today and taking the time out to let us know a little bit more about your place in the world, and that it is possible to be vegan where you are, and you guys have some great activism going on. I would love to come there and check it out. And I mean, when I was going through just the facts, reading up on facts for the beginning of this interview about Serbia, Serbia is a really extremely interesting area, and I think some people might overlook it. They shouldn't. I certainly will not. If I have a chance to get there, I will be coming by. So I hope we keep in touch,
And
and
you
I
should
hope,
definitely come here.
yeah, I hope that one day I get a chance to meet you in person and do some activism, because I know you have some great activists out there. You guys are doing a great job. So thank you.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are great activists here in Serbia. Also, the organizers for AV in Novi Sad, they are also doing a great job.
And that's who got me in contact with you. So I know that they're a great group of people.
Yeah, they are organizing also AV and Animal Save Movement.
All right. So there's plenty of stuff to get involved with. Again, whatever you send us, we'll leave below so people can get involved, and hopefully they'll be coming to visit you soon. So maybe one day for me too. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go. And I know it's getting late for you, and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Ella.
You're welcome.
All right. I hope you have a great night.
You too.
All right. Bye bye now.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Ella's such a nice person, very great activist, involved in so many things, and we do appreciate that. The animals appreciate that. We need more people like this around the world, and I'm glad we're all connecting. So check out all the links below the video and do connect with her. Follow and check out all the links. Yeah, so if you want to know who my next guest is going to be, you're going to have to just show up. So like, subscribe, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Gosh darn it. That's as nice as you'll get from me. So have a great night. Bye.